What's going on, guys? It's Haxa here with another episode of Skul the Hero Slayer. In the last episode, we had an unfortunate loss with Thief, Minotaur, and also the champion who showed up at the end to try and save the run and just couldn't. Very unfortunate, but those happen. As well as wins, you have to take losses. It's just how Skul the Hero Slayer is. It's a very unforgiving game. Any, little misstep in the run can just lead it into ruin. And I think really the big misstep we did was, for one, being bad with Orc and also ditching Orc, because Orc could have been the savior the run needed and we just were too scared to use it. Won't make that mistake in the future though. If I see Orc on a physical run, I'm certainly taking it. But what I do see here is Gravedigger, who is now in this update. In previous versions he wasn't, but in this update he's a magic Skul, fully on magic except his basic attack, which deals physical damage. But that's not important to us. This would be a magic run if we stuck with him. And that's what we're going to try and do, is build a magic run here, because I've really wanted to get one going. It's I kind of like to swap in between magic and physical runs generally. And we've had 2 physical runs in a row, so let's try and make this one a magic one to the best of our ability. Might not necessarily be Gravedigger, but it should hopefully be magic. What's his ability, by the way? Oath, is that the one with the spears? Yes, this one is, it's a decent ability for Gravedigger. There's better ones, but there's worse abilities too, so it's definitely a usable Gravedigger start, and we're going to try and make it work. At the very least, it's going to be usable in Act 1, so we don't have to worry too much about that. And, yeah, I don't really understand why they made Gravedigger have a physical basic attack, but special abilities. In the past, on other Skuls where they've done that, it's made the Skul unusable. But I don't feel like that's the case with Gravedigger, because Gravedigger is, at the end of the day, really more of a support Skul than it is a main Skul. And by that I mean you make the minions appear with your ability, and then you swap out to another Skul, and the minions deal damage while your other Skul does the majority of the work. And hopefully we can show that off in this run. Although, like I said, I'm not committed to Gravedigger, but Gravedigger is a very good Skul. In fact, I personally think it's maybe one of the Skuls that could be potentially looked at for some nerfs, because one of it, or really 2 of its abilities, but one especially, the ability Macbeth, is just so insanely strong. It does so much damage that it's kind of ridiculous. A little too ridiculous. It certainly could use with some tweaking. And I see something very cool here. A Rockstar in the first shop, which, I mean, it's a unique Skul. You don't see these too often, but especially in the first shop, it's very rare, very lucky to see this. So we're absolutely taking this, and we're running with this. I feel like this is a very good direction for our run to start going towards. And I'm going to go ahead and buy the Bottled Embers as well, because I think they're better than what we had, as well as the Hate Stone, which personally not a fan of, but at this stage in the game, it'll probably do us a lot of work. And we get the special adventurer theme. Let's just admire this for a second. Listen to this. You only get this with the Rockstar Skul. It's so cool. Such a cool little Easter egg. And to my knowledge, even to this day, this track isn't on like the YouTube channel or anything. Like, you can't find this on YouTube where you can find all the other soundtracks. For some reason, it's just not there. Man, now I'm super happy that we took the Rockstar Skul. I wasn't even thinking about that at the time. And we have some options here. It's actually a much harder decision than it looks on the surface. Even though this seems to be taking us in a magic build direction, I am a huge fan of the Cyclops Quintessence. It gives 20 shield whenever you use it. And it's not that long of a cooldown, so you can have 20 shield up pretty regularly. It's a very good sustenance option for you. We have the Ghoul here who would offer us 11 shards, and we certainly do need shards. so that would be very nice to have. But then we also have the Carleon insignia, which would give us money, which we also need. But we don't have any items giving that its little bonus of, you know, depending on how many Carleon items you have, you get more money. Which one of these do we want the most? I'm gonna go ahead and take the Cyclops. Call me crazy, but after the last run we had where we lost so tragically, I don't know why I swapped, by the way. Definitely shouldn't have done that. I'm going to upgrade this Gravedigger. But after the last tragic loss we had, I want to play it a little bit safe and make sure that we get a dub this run, because we want fat dubs, don't we? And regardless of whatever damage type we end up focusing, like I've been always said in my runs, the first two, and really even some of the third act, you can use the opposite damage type really effectively to still deal lots of damage, especially in Act 1. It's almost completely unnoticeable in Act 1. You can focus any damage type and still use the other damage type very effectively. We also have my two favorite abilities on Rockstar Skul as well, so this is like already looking to be a very promising run, as long as we just don't end up going in a tragic direction like we did last time. And that was very very sad, just how everything ended up. And we are offered Water Skull, which is also very tempting. It would mean we wasted our 10 shards, which is literally the only downside that doing that strategy, you know, can give you. But Water Skull would certainly be an upgrade from Gravedigger. Is it worth it? You know it's worth it. We're taking the Water Skull, of course. A friend of mine wanted me to do a Water Skull run, and I really want to give them that run. So let's go ahead and take this skull and run with it. And I really honestly think this could very well be the two skulls that we use for this run. They're two very interesting and fun skulls, so seems like it will be a fun way to have this run unfold in front of us. And actually use our Water Skull, why not? Though we did unfortunately get this ability. I would personally rather have another one, but we'll see if we can find some NPCs that can help us out with that. Not that that ability is bad, I just personally prefer like a more directly offensive ability to that one, which is more of a passive like support ability than anything else. And we're already to the Elder Ant, which is pretty crazy actually. I feel like this has gone really fast, but I haven't looked at the time, so we're probably not any faster than we normally are, but it certainly feels that way. Oh no, we're actually maybe a little behind, but it's not a big deal. I'm not really too worried about speed right now. Look how tiny that pool is. You really should not activate these on top of these little branches here. Like, it just like was pathetic. It didn't really help us out at all. Oh, take a little there, but not a big deal. Like, it really doesn't matter. Let's see if we can get the band in here. Let's try and bring the band in on this. Though I don't think they're gonna get the, yeah, they're not gonna get the chance. Even if I hadn't stopped attacking, they wouldn't have had enough time to do anything interesting. We can bring them in a room up ahead. And of course, Elder Ant's freaking gratitude. Wow, thanks, man. You're so gracious to give us that. Wow. Very, very thankful that you gave us that. The best item in all of Skul. Yeah, not a fan of that item. I don't think anyone really is. It definitely needs a little bit of extra something. And this is the perfect room to summon the band. Well, watch him go. This is awesome. They pretty much took care of everyone too. Like, the room's pretty much over now. Such a long room, and they just did all the work for us. I have to say, I'm very appreciative. We definitely need to pick up the pace on skull shards, though, after we gave up 10 shards to get the water skull. Like I said, the only downside to that strategy, but it does happen from time to time, because sometimes the headless shop guy does offer you some pretty cool stuff, and you just have to take it up on his offer. Oh, crap. Oh, dang. Do I really? Because, I mean, we also have Mage's Necklace here, which would be a good pickup itself, but Suanicio. What a hard thing to pronounce for a dumb American like myself. It's such a cool item to get. Like, you very rarely get this item at this early in the game. And this early on, this is going to be just every room. It's basically a nuke button. And I am a humongous fan of the Cyclops Quintessence. I really am. But I think when something like this is offered to you, you have to take it, right? Like, you just have to. And we could sell this and this, actually, maybe. Would that give us enough? 422, we're at... It would, actually, right? Yes, it would. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get the Mage's Necklace. I hope my math isn't wrong there. Yeah, it's literally just enough. Okay. And we'll take an item room here to make up for the 2 items we just sold. Elderant's Gratitude, it basically doesn't even count to be sold, because that's all that item is good for. Let's see if Suanicio can get both of these levels of enemies here. It has a pretty short range. That's like really the only downside of it, is it doesn't hit very far. But it looks like it got these guys up here. And I think more enemies are going to summon once we walk over here. Or am I thinking? I'm thinking of another room. Yeah, okay. Well, then it did a lot of good work then, right? Suanicio is so cool. I just think it's such a cool quintessence. Even though it deals true damage, and a lot of people don't like true damage. For good reason. But it's a really good room nuke. Pretty much the entire game. Like, it falls off against bosses later on, but for rooms, it's always going to be doing pretty good work for you. And there's no NPCs here, so we can just move on. And we're already at the adventurers? Okay. Jeez. These two, I like to see these two. And we got the song again. Never going to get old. The song is so good. I pushed the button. Okay. Get him, Suanicio. Oh, he really got him. Dang, I was not expecting that. Holy crap. Well, of all of these, I'd rather have the shard so we can upgrade Water Skull to a unique. So let's go ahead and do that. Maybe should have considered Gargoyle, but for the sake of... And also, I'm so sorry if you heard that. I really hope that didn't pick up. I do have a noise gate on to some degree, but if it did, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Like, just... Yeah, I'm just used to not recording, so I wasn't even thinking about it. What do we got here? We got the wave pool. Both of these abilities I would really honestly not mind switching off, but look at the Water Skull work down in this little area down here. This is like where the Water Skull is like absolutely showing off what it does best, is in little rooms like this. Though Suanicio could have done some good work as well, but whatever. Let Water Skull do his thing. We'll let Rockstar finish off these bozos. Yes. You know what? Gene Run is something I really want to do eventually too, because okay, a little bit of lag there after we got into the map, which is kind of weird. Doesn't really happen that often, but a Gene Run is something I want to do after a while, because a lot of people really don't like Gene, and they think he's like the worst skull in the game, which really honestly isn't true. I think Gene is just really hard to play, and people don't know how to play him because he plays so differently from every other skull. Like, and I mean every other skull. No skull plays quite like Gene. But It's actually not a bad skull at all. It really honestly isn't. You just have to know what you're doing with it. And I'll show that off hopefully one day soon. Oop, okay, sorry about that. I had to step away for a second. I just noticed that we can actually make use of this because Rockstar is technically a speed skull. He's a magic-based speed skull, which is not something you really see often. But yeah, in this one case, this one kind of off chance that you can actually use magic and bonus swiftness together very effectively, which is very uncommon. And we also see the ritual staff here, which is normally like an S tier magic item, but both of our magic skulls here they're not balanced skulls, so they don't get the extra little benefit of skill cooldown, but they do get the increased magic attack, and they do get tactics and static, which are both very good. So we're still going to take it regardless, over the bomb especially, which isn't doing us any good. Not bad at all to pick up, even though it would certainly be better under different circumstances. And that was the worst Suanicio of all time. Like, quite literally, no Suanicio ever before or since will be that bad. So if you're ever in a run and you have a bad Suanicio, you can take like a little bit of comfort knowing that it wasn't as bad as that one. So we'll just have to wait for it to reset its cooldown and hopefully not make that mistake again. This is certainly tempting. Great Warlock, but it doesn't have Meteor Strike, so I'm not as tempted as I normally would be. And it does offer us a lot of Skull Shards, so I think it's better off to us as Bones. Alrighty. Is this the Danka Knights? Yes, it is. Do we help them? I suppose we do, though I will say I'm not such a big fan of the Danka Knights. I think the rewards they offer are pathetic for how much you have to do for them. Though I guess Suanicio will help us out and make things a little less obnoxious. And really, honestly, like, I guess maybe I'm just complaining for the complaining's sake, because so far this has been a breeze, like pretty much nothing, pretty much free stuff. So maybe the Danka Knights aren't as bad as I was making them out to be, you know? Maybe I was a little too hard on the poor little Danka Knights. Yeah, you know what? You guys aren't so bad, as long as you give me money and not skull shards. Yeah, you know what? You guys aren't half bad. You aren't half bad. I'm sorry, I take it back. I take it back. You guys are all right. We keep missing with our electric slides. We definitely shouldn't be doing that as much as we are. Hopefully we get that under control. We're gonna save Suanicio for the Leona sisters. Suanicio against the Leona sisters does exactly half in their first phase. So if you can time it just right, you can do exactly half of their HP total to both of them at the same time. So let's try and do that. Alright, buddy, what do you got? Oh, them again? Oh, okay. Same thing as always. Alright. I see how it is. Can't come down here and fight me yourself. Let's press the button. And we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him! Yes, we are gonna get him. Whew! That actually was cutting it a little closer than I would have liked to have, but... Come on, land here, land here. Land here before they go away. Oh, oh. We did a lot of damage to both of them, so... They're in pretty big trouble for this next phase. Let's try and create as much waves as possible here. Just let her get shredded by the waves. Boom! Oh, it missed. Oh, how tragic. But we're still shredding her, so she doesn't stand a chance. And in fact, she's dead right now. Easy game, easy life. He's always so shocked, even though it happens every time. You know, you gotta get used to it eventually, man. You gotta learn. You gotta learn how it works around here. We got the Jack-in-the-Box. Not gonna really do us any good in the long term, but in the short term, while we don't have full item slots, it'll do a little bit of work. And we're off into Act 3 with 36 bone shards. I would like to have a little bit more, but we're like we're not doing half bad. We're doing all right, especially compared to last run, which was an absolute disaster when it came to bone shards. So, you know, it gives you a little bit of perspective when you do that badly with bone shards in a run. Suddenly, you know, a mediocre run seems pretty all right. You're pretty happy with that. I didn't actually mean to summon those guys, but they can show up and have a little fun. All right, Grim Reaper. We've already done a run with Grim Reaper, so I'm not picking it up. It's going to be Bone Shards, but obviously Grim Reaper is an incredible skull, especially since the rework. If you haven't played with it, you should. It's super, super fun. It's super, super strong. But this time, he's Bone Shards to us. Also, I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Didn't want you guys to think I was just standing there for no reason, so I figured I'd let you know. And this Suanicio is going to do an insane amount of work. It's so good at room clears. A lot of people dismiss it because they save it for bosses, and it's not super good against bosses. Just use it in rooms, and you'll see just how good Suanicio can be. I don't know why I struggled so hard to say it at first, by the way. Like, I'm saying it fine now. I just, for some reason, at first was like... Do we want this, or do we want damage? Well, actually, we can have both. What am I saying? We just have to find damage. And we didn't really find anything too good. But we did find a broken mana engine, which is something. It makes our Skul cooldowns not as bad and helps us with a little bit of magic damage as well, right? Or am I wrong about that? No, it doesn't help with magic damage. It's just cooldown. But cooldown's fine. We like cooldown, right? Can't complain about that. But though we certainly do need some more damage, that's a given. We don't have a lot, if any, right now, really. We only have... okay, never mind. We actually have some. We have some stuff going on here, but we could always use more. The closer we get to Act 4, the worse off we're going to be with this damage. So hopefully soon things turn around for us in that department. But the run's going fine. We're probably going to have a unique before Act 3 Part 2, which is very good. And we also found this secret room with a lot of money in it. Can't complain about that. Gotta look on the bright side. You gotta find things that are positive and that make you happy, right? That's how it is in life. And this room is perfect Suanicio, though I think the adventurers are next, so we're not going to have it for them, at least at the start. But we'll make it work, because we aren't really relying on Suanicio for our damage output in the long term. It's just good for clearing rooms. Otherwise, we're doing completely fine on damage. The only way we don't get a unique before Act 3 Part 2 is if we get a common skull here. So, come on, game. Don't be mean. I was just, you know, praising you and letting you know how much I appreciate the skull shards. So, you know, reward me a little bit. You know, you could always do that. You could always be nice. It's not hard. You've done it before. You can do it now. We had a very easy Act 3 adventures, which is always nice. And they were kind, though we do get offered Cyclops again. Unfortunately, can't take it still, but I think we're going to upgrade the Rockstar because this is his run. It's his, okay? I've made up my mind. This is Rockstar featuring Water Skull, okay? Live with it. And we're off. Look at this. The king himself. I don't remember just how much better the Rockstar is in legendary form compared to unique form, because it's been a while since I've gotten lucky enough to get the Rockstar. For some reason, it just doesn't show up very often for me. But he was already good in unique form, so I assume he's going to be... Whoa, what the heck? I guess that alchemist just died, right? Like, he died off screen. I was expecting to come over here and him be running around and I was going to kill him. I was going to use Suanicio to kill those guys, but he made up my mind for me. We'll use Suanicio here, which is actually a much better use of it, so actually helped us out secretly in the long run. I think that's everyone. Yeah, Suanicio absolutely just carrying the run in some aspects. Just a very good quintessence. Very happy and very lucky to have it. Probably not even gonna get rid of it ever. Maybe if we're offered something crazy in like the Act 5 shop, but before that, I think we're just perfectly happy where we are. I meant to use the other ability there if you're wondering why I placed a bunch of amps in like an objectively bad spot. And we see Shadow Knights here. In any other run that would be awesome, but not on this run because we're not physical. We'll take this, absolutely. And now we actually have some pretty good damage. Like, things are looking very, very good for this run. I'd like more tactics, but... Ooh. We have a lot of HP, so I'm absolutely going to go for opening a few of these bad boys. Burn, we're not super unhappy with at all. We can even swap and take that in the shields, but it doesn't matter because we're lucky and we get the key right off the start. Honestly, I could even stand to go open a few more, but we're not going to play that risky. There's no point for minor gains. Hey, look, it's Raven's Monarch Feather, one of my favorite items in the game. Oh my goodness, this run is looking sweet. I guess we'll get rid of Bottled Embers, right? Is that what we want to get rid of? Probably, right? It's not. It's doing the least amount of work for us. But Raven's Monarch Feather is, like, you know me, I love to swap. It's one of my favorite things about Skul, and this is one of the best, if not really the only swap synergy magic items. And it's a really good one too. We'll use it right here. Pulls all the enemies near it in a huge area. Also, excuse me once again. Hopefully that didn't pick up on the mic. But yeah, that absolutely just cleared everything without me even realizing it, to be honest. Like, I was just down here bumbling around. I didn't realize it had already done all the work for me up there. As for this item, which is a good trap, like if you get this in Act 3, you're happy. In Act 4, traps aren't really as bad. There's like the fireballs flying around everywhere that deal surprise damage to you every once in a while, but other than that, traps are a much bigger thing in Act 3 than they are in Act 4. Alrighty, let's see what the Chimera has to offer us. Probably nothing. I mean, he's probably going to get absolutely destroyed. Let's use some Suanicio action on him. Place all of the amps here. Summon the Rockstars and just make him wish he never appeared. Wow, the Rockstars are doing nothing. When did they start doing so little damage? I could have swore they used to be like OP. Huh? Oh, okay then. You know, I guess the squad ain't quite what they used to be. Jesus. Well, we got offered both hats, but what is this one called, by the way? Master Fighter. Okay, Master Fighter over Master Brawler any day of the week. Master Brawler honestly just ain't that good. It's not bad, I suppose, but it's certainly worse than Master Fighter in the long run. You can take it in the short run if you like desperately need some damage. But we aren't there. We have plenty of damage. We're very happy with this with the run how it is right now. Just need some bone shards and then we're like fully off to the races. Swap here. Man, Mage's Necklace is doing some decent work too, huh? Like, I feel like our ability cooldowns are fairly low, but even then, like, it's still doing quite a bit. I should have used Suanicio here, but I guess it didn't matter because we got out of here perfectly. Like, literally perfectly. Didn't even take any damage regardless if we were swapping or not, which is really, really cool. Raven's Monarch Feather is just going to be doing so much. Will we use it here? This seems like a terrible place to use it. But like, I guess we'll The thing is, the less we use it, the more it's just going to sit there. And that's kind of like the fallacy of long cooldown quintessences is, like, you don't want to use it because you don't like the cooldown that you have to wait for. But if you don't use it, like, you're just objectively getting less usage out of it. Like, the cooldown's happening essentially right now because we're not using it. Like, right? If you look at it like that, I think we'll use it right here, actually, because this little section's slightly annoying. And we do actually finally see this NPC. And I'm going to use her to hopefully get some better abilities on Water Skull. What do we get? Lake of the Spirit and Tornado, I would say, worse off than we were. Please go, please go away, Lake of the Spirit. Lake of the Spirit. Please. Wait, am I wrong? Is that the... No. Lake of the Spirit, go away. Jesus. What? Why? Why did it take all of my money? We were doing so well on money. Oh my god, it just wouldn't go away. Why, game? Why? Sometimes Skul giveth and sometimes Skul taketh. What can you do? It's mostly giveth this run. And I will take it after what happened to us last run. I'll take anything. Alrighty. You know what? Now it's doing work. Maybe they're just bad against bosses. I don't know. They're doing pretty decent now. Or maybe they have like a really large burst when they appear, and then like as they stick around, their damage falls off for some reason. Let's use Suinicio here, because I think the shop's up ahead and we'll have plenty of time to have it cool down. Alrighty. And yes, it is, so we made a good decision. Can we, after using all of our money to reroll, afford anything decent? What would we sell if we found something good? Well, let's refresh just to... We haven't found crit modification yet, so this item could stand to be sold, right? Because we're not modifying crit. Well, actually, this might be modifying crit. It technically is, but like not really. And what I'm looking at is Warrior's Steel Mace because it gives stun, and that's very usable in Act 4. Like, people underrate Warrior's Steel Mace a little bit, I think, because they look at the damage effect and they're like, 60 true damage, that's not good at all. But the real power of this weapon comes from the stun, and stun can save you precious HP in critical moments. So I think that because of that, we will sell this and buy that. Just for now. By the end of Act 4, we'll probably have replaced it with something else. But for now, it's going to be doing decent work. Oh, okay. We're not going down there. I've said I wanted to show off how bad I am at this minigame before, but not on a run like this where everything's going right. And we have offered to us the Flame Dragon, which is a good quintessence, but it's not good on this run. So I'd really rather not throw this run away for stupidity's sake, right? Absolutely not. Alright. Suinicio time? Maybe after we kill these two. Yes, absolutely after we kill those two. I pressed the button. Okay. Come on, Suinicio. Do your thing. And we haven't used Water Skull since we got those abilities that cost us so much, so let's make use of that. Ooh, bow! Okay. Water Tornado, in my opinion, is like, of the offensive abilities, the worst one that Water Skull has. Do we want this? Am I that scared after what happened last run? Eventually we have to get rid of this, don't we? We have to get rid of these two. But, for Voodoo Doll? I mean, that's a pretty desperate pick, and we have full HP. But I am scared. Yes. Yes, I'm that scared. Alright, who's it gonna be? No one's scary, please. Oh, a little rematch, huh? Not too happy about that, if I'm being honest. What does Suanisio do for him? At least we get the song. We're gonna be here a while, so at least we get to listen to this song. Oh! I really should stay as mostly the Rockstar, because his attacks can be a little hard to dodge, and that's really a lot of surprise damage can come from just not being able to dodge his attacks. But we're doing a pretty good job. Oh yeah, we're doing a very good job, actually. This doesn't seem like it's going to be too bad. Just keep swapping, keep making use of our powerful items, and see how much work this stun is doing, by the way. I haven't mentioned it yet, but like we're stunning him every 10 seconds, and it's interrupting his attacks. I forget to mention that it works against the adventurers, so like stun is good. Stun is very strong. It's very underrated. And that saved us a lot of HP. We barely took any damage there. Stun just did so much. And we're offered the Assassin Dagger, which unfortunately we already got rid of our agility bone, so we can't exactly make use of the stun. I mean the crit modification anymore. Sorry, I had my mind went blank because I saw Wisp and I got really excited. Does Wisp work with recharging all of the stacks on Amp? If it does, I think we will swap out Suanisio for Wisp at this point. Let's try it. No, it doesn't. So we're not doing that. We're gonna take back Suanisio, which means we didn't get our 11 shards. So Water Skull is actually in danger of not being fully upgraded. So maybe that was like a pretty big mistake on my part. We'll have to see how this unfolds. But I had to know for science, right? We had to know. And sadly, it ended up not being the result we wanted, but that's just how life goes sometimes. I'm feeling very comfortable, obviously, though, because we now have the Voodoo Doll, which will save us if we take fatal damage at one point, which I don't know how far we're going to take the Voodoo Doll, but for now, it's certainly a comfort to have it. Wow, this is a really wacky magic run, isn't it? Literally no balance skulls. There's like very few magic skulls that are not balanced, and we got 2 of them together. Not something you see that often. We did take a little extra damage there. We'll free the halfling and see what she has for us. Of course, she has the shitty one. Thanks a lot. Should have left you in there. And let's see what this room has to offer us. I'm going to use Suanisio. We're going to hit the nuke button. And enjoy. We're going to enjoy our awesome quintessence. Maybe you'll even get two stacks of them. I think it did, actually. I think it got 2 summon pools worth of them, which is awesome. Though we are taking a little more damage than I'd like, unfortunately. Ugh. We'll probably have to buy some HP here in the store. Though we also do have the Voodoo Doll, so maybe we won't have to. Ideally, I wouldn't want to. But we are close to having 100 shards for our Water Skull, which would be ideal. I do not want to have to go into the end of the game with 1 unique. If not just for the sake of the run's power, just for like my own sake, because I personally just really enjoy having 2 powerful skulls to swap between. But I don't know. I think we're going to be all right. It was looking touch and go there for a while, but we got a lot of uniques, and we have plenty of time to get... Okay, we're definitely getting it now, so thank goodness. Let's use Suanisio. Hit the button. Hit the nuke button. Absolutely. And this should give us enough. But we're also going to get something from this, so we would have been good either way. Yep, we're good. And we're certainly happy with how that worked out. This would actually be a really good item to have, but I guess we could sell Voodoo Doll for it, right? But we also have to get rid of this. But what would we sell as well as it is the question. And I'm not exactly... Do we have an item room? No. The worst thing we could do would be go into the final half of the game with only 8 items instead of 9. You know what? I think the run's going well enough. Is it though? No. Okay, let's not be stupid. We don't need the Frost Witch Staff. It's not the best item there ever was. Okay, let's move on. Oh! I got a cough, but I don't want to cough into the microphone. Hang on, I'm gonna edit this out. Whoo! Okay, we back. I was trying hard to get that cough out during the amazing lag that we have in between room transitions, but sadly, it was too quick. That's just how life is. But you know how life also is us absolutely decimating this run so far. Like, this has been, after the last run, such a breath of fresh air. It really has. Like, there's just so much safety in this run. I feel so secure. For one, just the power of the run overall. But also we have the Voodoo Doll keeping us safe. We have... stun keeping us safe in these rooms. Everything's just looking good, though I do certainly need to get rid of that stun before we face the first adventurer. That's going to be a personal goal, though we could end up going into the adventurer fight with it. Wouldn't be the end of the world, but it isn't ideal. This is an item room I think I chose here, so we might get something here. Yes, I will take that. It's not the best item in the world, but I do prefer it over going to the first adventurer with stun, so. We get HP and we get some freeze effects. So, you know, it is what it is. Freeze, I think the first hero can be frozen, so. Yeah. Better than stun. It's just a better stun. Oh, wait a second. What is that we see in the literal last room he can appear? That would be the slime NPC. And we can actually get rid of that item in favor of duping one of these items. Imagine if we duped Voodoo Doll. That would be hilarious. It wouldn't be ideal. It would just be funny. What do we got? What do we got? Oh my god. Does that double up? I don't even know if that doubles up. We'll have to see. Let's see. It did! It did! Oh, that's so strong! That's so strong. Wow. What a great thing to get at the literal ending. Let's go into Joan with confidence. Alrighty. Very good Water Skull Rockstar run so far. Very fun. I'm very happy with this run after what happened last time. And here she is. Not worried about Joan. Not too much, at least. She could still get some surprise hits on us, especially if she starts with this easily the scariest pattern that she can lead with, but it's still not scary enough to really jeopardize anything in a serious way. Let's play some amps here. And I think no, okay, never mind. If you place the amps, you should not swap to another skull because it makes them not work anymore, sadly. So we missed out on some damage there. Probably actually would have saved us some HP as well, but it's fine. And we're almost through. Oh, okay, I didn't actually mean to do that, but that still works if you swap, which is kind of interesting. I feel like if it was consistent, both the amps and them would work still. We do have Swanee Seal for her. And it actually still does a decent amount of damage at this point. Let's just dodge these. Unique water is actually still not too bad, is it? Like, it's still doing pretty good work against John. Especially if we can just summon a bunch of waves on this platform. Oh, okay. We have to be aware that she's doing this. Okay. This is, in my opinion, one of the scariest attacks in the entire game because it can just absolutely drain your HP. And of course, she's going right back to it. If you get caught in one of these beams, it's not fun. We took just a little bit off of it, but it can absolutely ruin your day. We jumped into that accidentally, but it's fine. We're gonna get out of here with fair amount of ease, even though she gave us a little trouble because she moved around a lot and she did some weird attack patterns that made us have to wait. But it's fine. We got out of there. Do we want the old totem instead of Suanisio against the first hero? It's a good question. It's certainly worth considering because this would help us more, I believe. It only stays for 10 seconds, though. Nah, let's keep Suanisio. It's been a Suanisio run. She gets to stick with us till the end. And let's not forget, because sometimes I have gotten to this point and forgotten to upgrade my Skul. Let's make sure that Water gets to Legendary. He gets to join us, finally, after all this time. A little unfortunate that he had to wait so long, but it is what it is. But we're here now. And the run is very, very good. Ooh, you guys do not get that hit on me. This is definitely a swap-heavy run. Like, swap as much and as often as possible. God, Water Skull is just so able to group everything up into a big, just glob and decimate everything. It's so powerful. I don't think we're going to buy any items here. We're going to heal. Wait, what's this? Quintessence? Yeah, we're going to heal. Back attack damage for 2 maps, which we don't get to bring to the first hero. I wish there were more food items that you could bring to the first hero, but you just can't. There's only like a couple that I know of, and both of the effects aren't anything special. Swap. How did that hit us, by the way? That was weird. Like at the exact last moment, our shield absorbed it, but it hit us. Kind of interesting. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. I had to adjust my microphone a little bit. I wish I had a better microphone for these videos, because I know these aren't exactly professional quality videos or anything. I'm just doing it for fun. But I do wish you couldn't hear my keyboard in the background. I do wish wish it wasn't a headset and it was like a standalone microphone, but we're working with what we got for now. Maybe eventually I'll... Oh, wait, what? What just happened to me? What was that? Huh? How did we take that much damage? What even hit us? I'm gonna have to go back in the VOD and look at that. That was insane. Man. Thank God we have Voodoo Doll after that. I think that about makes up for the HP we lost, but we lost so much. Oh, I forgot. Oh, you can't swap when you have the things out. That's so lame. Whatever. We're still doing a lot of damage. It's fine. Let's summon the bands. I did it again, by the way. I'm just such a swap fiend that I can't help myself. Especially when we have 2 raven feathers. Like, I have a deep need to swap. But it seems to be working out for us. Wait! Oh my god, I was on the wrong side! Oh my god, I'm making so many stupid mistakes! Oh no, guys! Oh no, that's so embarrassing and stupid. What a stupid mistake to make. Ugh. Oh god, I hope it doesn't end this run. After everything, like, losing to my own mistakes would be just too much to bear. Oh, okay, at least we have Voodoo Doll. Okay, the Raven Monarch missed entirely there. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna win, but certainly not because I'm good at the game right now. I cannot believe that. So stupid. I'm just not happy with that performance at all. Let's swap. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna win, but that was just bad. I wasn't like I don't think I've made that mistake since the first time I ever fought the first adventure, and I was like not even certain that that was like a mechanic you had to follow. Shoo, God. And I think it's possible because of those mistakes that the difference maker in this run was Voodoo Doll. It's actually super entirely possible that that's actually what ended up happening. All right, we'll take a win. The run was just so strong that any amount of mistakes I made couldn't really hurt it. How do we do this victory screen? It'd be cool if we could get Suanicio on it, but we can't. She's too slow. So a swap into Rockstar where they're doing the slam could be cool. Wait, I thought they jumped in the air. Okay, we'll try again. We'll jump out and then do it. And we'll also summon Suanicio. Hiya! Yes! That's a victory screen. And that's a GG. Oh. Not, sorry if you hear anything in the background. Not a good performance on my part there at the end, but whatever. The run was, I'm not going to let that taint my experience of the run. That was a fun run regardless. I'll just have to remember not to make stupid mistakes like that in the future. And 2 Raven Feathers. I don't think I've ever gotten that. I still actually am not entirely sure if that duped the effect of it or not. I hope it did, but I'm not entirely sure if it did or not. But the Suanicio did so much for us. You know, people say that it's not like a worthy legendary quintessence, but I think this run is like a testament to the fact that it is. It's just a great quintessence. And it's even I didn't give it enough credit against bosses. It's actually pretty good against bosses. And we actually didn't have too much like tactics or anything like that, but everything was just picking up the pace of like the weird items we had this run, like Mana Engine. And we never got rid of Mage's Necklace. But that was a fun run, and I'm rambling at the end. I think that's just going to be a thing I do at the end of these runs. Talk about the run, talk about just what went right and what went wrong. We'll do better, not make stupid mistakes next time. And thank you for watching if you made it this far, and I'll see you again soon.